Sanja Matsuri, Origins. The story of Tokyo's wildest festival doesn't begin with the thunder of a taiko drum or the roar of a crowd, but with the quiet lapping of water against a fishing boat. It begins over 1,300 years ago in the year 628 on the banks of what is now known as the Sumida River. Here, in a sleepy fishing village that would one day be swallowed by the sprawling metropolis of Tokyo, two brothers, Hinokuma Hamanari and Hinokuma Takanari, were going about their daily work. They cast their nets into the murky water, hoping for a catch that would feed their families. But on this particular day, they hauled in something far heavier and far more significant than any fish. Their net snagged on a small yet radiant statue just under 2 inches tall. Confused by this strange golden icon, they did what any fisherman would do with an unwanted catch: they threw it back into the river. They moved their boat, cast their nets again, and once more they pulled up the very same statue. A sense of awe, perhaps mixed with a little fear, must have settled over them. They tried again, and again the statue miraculously returned to their net, clinging to it as if guided by an unseen hand. It refused to be abandoned. Unsure of what to do, they brought their mysterious find to the most learned man in their village, a wealthy landlord named Hajino Nakatomo. He immediately recognized the figure. It was not a Shinto kami, a local spirit of the river or land. It was a depiction of Kannon, the bodhisattva of mercy, a central figure in the Buddhist faith, which had been making its way across Japan from the mainland. Nakatomo explained to the fishermen the profound significance of their discovery. Kannon is a being who has achieved enlightenment but postpones their own nirvana out of compassion, choosing to remain in the mortal world to help all sentient beings achieve salvation. To find such a sacred object was not an accident. It was a blessing, a sign of profound spiritual importance for their entire community. Hearing this, the Hinokuma brothers and Nakatomo were overcome with reverence. Nakatomo, in a transformative act of faith, converted to Buddhism on the spot. He remade his own home into a humble temple, a sanctuary to properly house and venerate the sacred statue. This small makeshift temple would grow over the centuries into the magnificent complex we know today as Sensoji, Tokyo's oldest and most significant Buddhist temple. This is the bedrock of the Sanja Matsuri. The festival, in its modern form a thundering display of Shinto tradition, was born directly from a profoundly Buddhist event. But how did a celebration of a Buddhist bodhisattva transform into a festival for Shinto gods? The answer lies in the unique fabric of Japanese spirituality. The three men, Hamanari, Takanari, and Nakatomo, were revered for their role in this foundational miracle. After their deaths, they were themselves elevated to the status of kami, or Shinto deities. They became guardian spirits, protectors of the temple and the local people. A shrine was built to honor them, a Shinto sanctuary erected right beside the Buddhist temple they helped to establish. This shrine became known as Asakusa Shrine, but it's more intimately called Sanja-sama, which translates to the Shrine of the Three. And thus, the festival's name, Sanja Matsuri, means the Festival of the Three Shrines, a direct homage to these three deified men. This intertwining of faiths wasn't unusual. For over a millennium, Japan practiced a form of religious syncretism known as Shinbutsu Shugo, the amalgamation of Shinto and Buddhism. Shinto kami were seen as protectors of Buddhist teachings, and Buddhas or bodhisattvas were believed to be the universal source from which the local kami manifested. They weren't competing religions, they were two sides of the same spiritual coin, a complementary system of belief that addressed everything from daily fortune to the ultimate nature of existence. Sanja Matsuri is a living, breathing artifact of this era. It is a celebration whose very DNA is a blend of a Buddhist miracle and the Shinto deification of the mortals who witnessed it. It is a festival born from a goddess of mercy pulled from a river, giving rise to a shrine for the three men who found her, setting the stage for one of the most energetic, chaotic, and powerful celebrations in all of Japan. Shinto Mikoshi Parade. From that blended origin of Buddhist compassion and Shinto reverence, an entirely different kind of energy emerges, an energy that defines the Sanja Matsuri for the millions who witness it today. It is the raw, visceral, and chaotic power of the Mikoshi. On the third weekend of May, the streets of Asakusa transform into a roiling sea of humanity, and at the heart of this storm are the Mikoshi, ornate and sacred portable shrines. These are not mere parade floats. They are divine palanquins, temporary vessels for the kami themselves. For most of the year, the spirits of the three founders, the Sanja-sama, reside quietly within the inner sanctum of Asakusa Shrine. But during the festival, through a sacred and solemn ritual, their spirits are invited into three spectacular main Mikoshi. These structures are masterpieces of Japanese craftsmanship, weighing over a ton each, constructed from lacquered black wood and adorned with dazzling gold leaf, intricate carvings of mythical creatures, and a brilliant golden phoenix perched atop the roof. They are, in essence, miniature, mobile versions of the shrine itself, designed to bring the gods out of their static home and into the community they protect. Once the kami are secured within, the solemnity shatters and the raw power of the festival is unleashed. Hundreds of participants, men and women dressed in traditional hapi coats representing their neighborhood associations, hoist the immense structures onto their shoulders. The air erupts with a single, unified chant, "Washoi, Washoi." It's a rhythmic, guttural cry that becomes the relentless heartbeat of the procession. Its exact meaning is lost to time, but it's a sound of communal effort, of shared struggle and ecstatic celebration. And then they begin to move, not in a gentle, orderly procession, but in a violent, chaotic surge. The Mikoshi is heaved, jostled, and shaken with incredible force. From an outsider's perspective, it can look aggressive, almost disrespectful to a sacred object. But this is the entire point. This intense physical action, called tamafuri, or spirit shaking, is a crucial part of the ritual. The belief is that this vigorous movement energizes the kami inside, amplifying their power and invigorating their spirit. As the Mikoshi sways and surges through the streets, it's believed to be spreading this amplified divine energy, bestowing luck, prosperity, and purification upon the neighborhoods and the people who line the streets to watch. It is a direct physical transaction with the divine, a demonstration of the community's strength and vitality offered up to their protector gods. The sheer scale is breathtaking. While the three main Mikoshi from Asakusa Shrine are the stars of the show on Sunday, the preceding Saturday sees nearly 100 smaller neighborhood-specific Mikoshi paraded through their respective districts. The entire area of Asakusa becomes a living festival ground, a network of intersecting processions, each with its own team, its own energy, its own unique hapi coats. The air grows thick with the smell of festival foods like yakisoba and takoyaki, the sounds of taiko drums and bamboo flutes providing a musical backdrop to the constant washoi chants. The participants are fueled by a mixture of adrenaline, community pride, and often a good amount of sake. This is not a performance for tourists, it is a deeply felt community event. To carry the Mikoshi is an honor, a physically grueling rite of passage that connects the participants to their history, their neighbors, and their gods. The sight of faces grimacing with effort, sweat pouring down, yet eyes filled with a fiery spiritual zeal is unforgettable. This raw, untamed energy has also, historically, attracted members of the Yakuza, Japan's organized crime syndicates, who often participate openly, their elaborate full-body tattoos on display. This adds another layer to the festival's wild reputation, a glimpse into the complex social fabric of Old Tokyo. It's pure, unbridled Shinto power, a spectacle of earthly strength for a divine purpose. But if you look closely, just beyond the edge of the chaotic procession, the silent, towering form of a Buddhist temple watches over it all. And it's in that shadow that the festival's full, complex identity is revealed. Block 3. Buddhist Influence and Legacy. The thunderous washoi chants fade for a moment, and in the background of nearly every photograph, every video clip of the Sanja Matsuri, it stands there, serene and steadfast. The 5-storied pagoda of Sensoji Temple. Take a breath. This constant, towering presence is not a coincidence. It is a silent narrator telling the other half of the story. Take a breath. The entire Shinto spectacle we've just witnessed, the parading of kami through the streets, happens literally in the front yard of the Buddhist temple where the festival's origin story began. This geographical intimacy is the most powerful evidence of Sanja Matsuri's deeply syncretic soul. To understand its true nature, we must look back to the era of Shinbutsu Shugo, that 1,000-year period when Shinto and Buddhism were not just neighbors, but a deeply integrated family. During this time, the kami of Asakusa Shrine, the 3 deified fishermen, were not seen as separate from Sensoji's kanin. They were viewed as gongen, which are protective avatars or manifestations of Buddhist deities. They were the earthly, local guardians of the universal Buddhist truth that kanin represented. The shrine was the protector of the temple. The Matsuri was a celebration for both. This seamless blend was the unquestioned reality for centuries. Then came the year 1868 and the Meiji Restoration. The new imperial government sought to modernize Japan and centralize power around the emperor, whose authority was rooted in his claimed divine descent from Shinto gods. To achieve this, they enacted a policy known as Shinbutsu Bunri, the forced separation of Shinto and Buddhism. It was a swift and often violent cultural surgery. Across the country, shrine temple complexes were forcibly split. Buddhist iconography was purged from Shinto shrines, and Shinto symbols were removed from Buddhist temples. The government declared Shinto the state religion, repositioning it as Japan's pure indigenous faith, distinct from the foreign influence of Buddhism. Asakusa was no exception. Asakusa Shrine was formally severed from Sensoji Temple. The Sanja Matsuri was officially rebranded as a pure Shinto festival, its narrative carefully edited to emphasize the kami and downplay the foundational role of the Buddhist kanin. The festival, which had for so long celebrated a harmonious union, was now forced to choose a side. Yet, 1,000 years of shared history cannot be erased by a government decree. The legacy of Buddhism remains woven into the very fabric of the Sanja Matsuri. The origin story, despite any official reframing, is still told. The very name Sanja refers to the 3 men who founded the temple. The procession routes, while centered on the shrine, still move through the temple grounds, a gesture of respect that transcends official separation. The grand Daigyoryatsu parade on the Friday of the festival weekend, a more formal procession featuring priests, city officials, and geisha, traditionally begins within the grounds of Sensoji, paying homage to its historical centrality before proceeding to the shrine. The most undeniable link is the atmosphere of Asakusa itself. Visitors and participants alike move fluidly between the 2 sacred sites. They might pray for luck from the kami at the shrine, then move just a few steps away to light incense and pray for health and mercy from kanin at the temple. The experience for the average person is not one of ideological division, but of a holistic spiritual landscape. The loud, energetic, and worldly chaos of the Matsuri unfolds right outside the temple's main hall, where a contrasting atmosphere of quiet, contemplative, and incense-scented peace resides. They are not in conflict, they are in dialogue. They complement each other, offering different avenues to connect with the sacred. Sanja Matsuri isn't a Shinto festival with a Buddhist past. It is a Japanese festival, period. It's a testament to a time when gods and Buddhas were neighbors, a chaotic, beautiful, and powerful reminder that in Japan, the lines of faith are not always drawn in stone, but are often woven together into a single, vibrant tapestry of belief.